For months, the small territory of Hong Kong has captured the world's attention. Millions of protesters have taken to the streets, demonstrating in airport lobbies and occupying public buildings to stop what they see as creeping rule from mainland China. The atmosphere has been oppressive, the police response heavy-handed. In this video, we look at what has been happening, why, and how the police have escalated tensions. To understand what's happening, it's important to know Hong Kong's recent history. After over 150 years, Britain handed back authority to China.
China will tonight take responsibility for a place and a people which matter greatly to us all.
It did so with guarantees that certain rights and freedoms were to be respected. This agreement was coined One Country, Two Systems. Many in Hong Kong feared that China, an emerging superpower, would break this promise. They looked to the future with trepidation. In the years since the handover, China has tried to introduce policies increasing its control over the territory. Many in Hong Kong have been resisting.
Amnesty International supports people's rights to peaceful assembly.
So this year, when the Chief Executive of Hong Kong, Carrie Lam, tried to introduce a bill that would allow the extradition of criminal suspects to mainland China, people were ready. An estimated 1 million people took to the streets to protest. It was a peaceful event with few arrests.
Today we are out here walking in the streets of Hong Kong, standing up for ourselves and our future, and just to uphold our basic human rights.
However, the situation changed dramatically a few days later. Tens of thousands of people surrounded the Legislative Council building. Everything started peacefully. But as the day went on, Amnesty International received reports of rising tensions.
A lot of people who were in the streets were there taking videos at the same time, and those videos were very quickly posted to social media networks.
Our teams in Hong Kong analyzed and reacted to reports on the ground, and our global digital verification teams forensically authenticated the uploads. Shocking videos illustrating police misconduct began to appear.
We kind of try and build out a whole view of the area to find out where exactly this happened, to make sure it did happen where we are told it happened. In this case, what we do is we start looking for as many geographical features as we can within the video. In this case, we see a circular building here and a runway. Other buildings in the background. See lots of trees, for instance.
Working together, our teams can pinpoint the exact geo-coordinates of an event.
We then will, of course, check other features like the uniforms of the police, the language that people are speaking, and any other actual details we can extract from the video to work out exactly where it was taken.
Once confirmed, we cross-reference all the information we can find to build up a picture of what happened. Throughout the following days, we continue to document incidents of excessive force.
So within this video, what we see is some of the demonstrations outside a tower called Citric Tower, where the police used excessive use of tear gas against a crowd of protesters, pushing them towards the Citric Tower building. And then we see them actually rushing towards the building and getting inside the building, where tear gas was continued to be used.
If you're in a big protest and you can't get away because you're in a big crowd and you can't move very fast, then you can cause physical problems like stampedes. And then the biggest thing we're seeing, and I see a real concern for this in Hong Kong, is that these canisters are projectiles. So when they're fired, they're really hard to direct. And so when they hit people, especially in their face or their head or their delicate parts of their neck, that's when you see blunt trauma and death.
The events of the 12th of June moved Hong Kong's protests into their next stage.
So although the police use excessive force against peaceful protesters in June 12, we still see people, we take the street several times, overwhelmingly peacefully in millions, to call on the government to answer their demands. This is very impressive.
Often the demonstrators are the victims of heavy-handed policing. Rubber bullets have been used dangerously. Tear gas has been deployed in densely populated residential areas.
我哋係有權利喺度集會㗎嘛，咁點解佢哋放催淚煙就等於我哋要走啫？唔合理喎，成件事。
Water cannons were even filled with dye, indiscriminately marking protesters and people standing by. As the months of uncertainty played out, our teams continuously monitored the situation, discovering evidence of arbitrary arrest, beatings, and even torture in police custody.
We've documented cases of people who are brutalized when they're in detention, even ill-treated, torture, pointing laser pens in their eyes.
The police force rejected our findings.
We see some missing links in that report, and that's why I cannot agree with all the allegations. Those missing links, including they basically did not mention clearly about the social environment in Hong Kong.
Most arrested persons whom we interview are afraid of coming forward to complain to police because they fear the police will further persecute them. So in this sense, the police is in no position to investigate themselves. And we think that the setup of an independent commission of inquiry is crucial and essential. We have sent this request to the police commissioner asking for a meeting, but this request yet remains unanswered.
Under the immense pressure, Carrie Lam belatedly withdrew the extradition bill that kick-started the recent protests. But the leaderless movement sees this as their opportunity to stem the slow erosion of their rights. They press on with an expanded list of 5 demands, which includes an independent investigation into use of force by police. These tensions hit boiling point this week as Hong Kong marked National Day, events which culminated in a young man being shot and left fighting for his life. For the authorities to de-escalate the situation and rebuild public trust, they must, as a first step, ensure an independent, impartial investigation aimed at delivering truth, justice, and reparations.